Hello, welcome to the replay. My name is Tatiana. I am a business coach and a mentor for women wanting to start their own businesses. We're having a random chat today. I actually had a different topic planned, but decided to switch it up a little bit and move that topic to a little bit later from now. But hello, if you are watching the replay, let me know, where are you watching from? I am very excited on this Tuesday. I just dropped my daughter off not too long ago at her first day of preschool. She's doing like a part-time preschool program. So it was really fun. Like, I didn't cry or nothing. I was just really excited for her new chapter and this new season, and also just to get some work done and different things like that. So I'm just feeling good and feeling grateful. Hello, I see some people are getting on. Let me know, where are you watching from? How is your week going so far? Feel free to share. We're just going to be talking about just some random stuff. I'm working on the last little bit of orders from my closing sale. So I thought it would be fun to just get on and just kind of chat with you guys about some random things. I have a couple of topics to cover, but feel free to drop some questions in the chat so that I can answer them. So yeah, Q&A, definitely feel free to drop something in there if you would like. But yeah, let me know how things are going, where you're watching from. So yeah, I'm working on some orders. Wanted to talk about some different things and just kind of just chat with you all. I have a call in about a half hour, so I thought this would be a good time to get on. I try to go live every other Tuesday as much as I can. I got my little acai bowl. Y'all, this is so good. I got this from Costco over the weekend. They had it as like a sample in there. And it's just this like smoothie bowl, but then you pour the granola on top and it's just already ready for you. Like, I love it. Let's see. Okay, watching from New Orleans and Atlanta. Hey, what's up? Feel free to drop any questions if you guys have them. And I'm just going to start talking and chatting randomly. Please chime in. But yeah, so I guess the first thing I'll talk about is a little bit of just like pivoting and things of that nature. I did want to mention too, like I said, I'm working on some orders from the closing sale. There is a handful of stuff left. I think when I was on there this morning, there's one TSM grab bag. There was 3 D-stash grab bags left. And I think there's 2 A5 inserts. So if you were interested, there is just a handful of stuff left. But yeah, I recently decided to make a huge change and a huge pivot. And I guess the biggest thing that I would say about it is I was kind of nervous to share because I wasn't sure how it would be received, especially because a lot of people have found me on YouTube and just the things I talk about through my stationery business. So I feel like I talked about it a lot in my end of the era video about sometimes we can tie ourselves to the one thing and we feel like that is it, or like that's what we're known for. So that's it, like we can't change, we can't move. And so this year has really been such a season of growing for me, of pivoting, of just being new, trying some new things. And there were so many people in the comments on that video that expressed that they were kind of in the same season. They were feeling like, I'm writing some things. Sorry, I'm writing some notes on the packet slips. I always like to put like a little thank you and I'll sign my name usually. But yeah, a lot of people in the comments of that video, they were expressing how they were going through similar things. This season for them was also one that was like a big change, or they're saying goodbye to something, they're closing a chapter. And so I guess the biggest thing I would say, I've had a little bit of time to process. I've decided to give myself even a little bit more time to process because this is a big deal. And I don't want to just move on from it. Like, I want to take a second to, my accountability partner said it best. She said to grieve. And I think that we should definitely do that. Like, if you are moving on to something new, if you are closing a chapter, I think that it's okay. Even if you're excited about the next one, it's okay to kind of pay homage to where you came from and to, take some time to really sit in that and what that means, because the stationary muse is such a monumental part of my life. So I couldn't agree more with what she was saying when we were talking. But hey, Darnie, is it Dory? No, I'm sorry, Daranisha. Hey, my week is going pretty good. I'm just working on these orders. Honestly, I was just saying when I first got on here, my daughter started her first day. She's doing like this part-time preschool program, so I dropped her off not too long ago for that. So it's definitely been a good week. We got some even more new changes and new seasons and things happening. So how's your week going? But yeah, so I've just been thinking a lot about that, like what it means to pivot, what it means to be open to new things. And I think that this somebody said, like, y'all in the comments, like, I just can't thank everyone enough for the amount of love and support I got on that video. Like I really just, this community is just so beautiful and amazing. Like I love y'all. Like I really do. But the comments were just so sweet. And just someone had said something along the lines of basically with just everything that I was sharing about closing the shop and all of that, how I am literally showing the journey of what it is to be an entrepreneur. And I think it's kind of crazy, like I'm bringing y'all along. I've been bringing you along on every step of the way. And so I'm going to continue to do so. And, if you want to see how I'm pivoting and I'm changing things, I will continue to share that because it is real. Like it's my life. It's definitely scary, but it's exciting. And I would love to share that with you because I think sometimes people don't show the in between stage when, you're just excited, but you're also kind of fearful. And I really would love to share that process as well. Let's see. Hey, Diana, our pop said, yes, you are. It's pretty cool to see. Oh, well, thank you. Yeah. And I didn't even look at it like that. I was kind of like, okay, hopefully these people don't leave my channel after I share this news. But no, like I couldn't have got a better response, y'all. Like the response was just amazing. So thank you so much, seriously, to everyone. Let's see. Daranisha said, stressful, 3 kids, all under 5. Woo, girl. Trying not to lose myself within motherhood, being an entrepreneur without quitting. You don't even understand. I'll just kind of segue for a second just to mention about that because that's such a good point. First of all, Daranisha, don't be hard on yourself. Give yourself some grace and realize that a season of having 3 children under 5, that is a huge feat. That is a big deal. And the fact that you wake up every morning, you show up, you do what you can, and the fact that you even are still trying to be an entrepreneur, like, girl, you are killing it. Okay. But last night, so my accountability partner, y'all, I talk about her all the time. Her name is Shalina. You should follow her on Instagram. It's Shalina B. I will maybe after I save this, I'll like save her Instagram handle in the description. But we were talking last night and we were just saying how I think people definitely are a lot more vulnerable these days. They do talk about a lot of different ins and outs, ups and downs. Hey, Anita, of just things going on in entrepreneurship, but it is so it's not talked about enough of like how difficult it is to be a mom, be a wife, or even if you're not in a wife, maybe you're in a relationship, you working full time, you have all these aspirations of things you want to do on top of all the expectations placed on you of like, this is the way a parent should be, this is the way you should run your business, this is how much money you should be making, this is how your life should look like. When you have all of those expectations, whether you want to buy into them or not, and then you're trying to run this business and you're trying to do all of these things, like it is so hard. It is so hard. And I know I only have one child, so I couldn't even imagine. Like I literally struggle. Like from day to day, I wake up sometimes, I'm like, I don't know how I'm getting all this done. Somehow it's happening. And I talk about in my sit down videos, I'm like, oh, just set aside some time, limit the distractions. And like all of that stuff is true. It's things that I do. But at the end of the day, we are human. And sometimes things just don't get done. Sometimes deadlines get pushed back. But that is what's beautiful about having your own business, because you are the boss. So, if things are kind of feeling like, okay, maybe this is a busier season than I thought, maybe I'm not going to get to do the 10 things I thought I was going to do this quarter. Maybe I only get to do 2 of them. So if you shift your mindset a little bit and you give yourself the grace to realize, like, okay, no, I can't get all 5 million of these things done, but I am going to focus on this one thing. I found that when you do that, and it's not always easy, I'm going through that right now where like I have all these things I want to do, and I'm like, okay, you need to refocus back to one thing. But when you realize that and you kind of shift that a bit, I promise you, it just makes the journey sweeter when you know, like we're starting back to school right now. So things are kind of hectic and it's crazy. And it's not fair to yourself to expect that you are going to get everything done in this season as you would when it's like more of a slower season in the summer or something like that. So I was listening to this podcast yesterday. I'm like kind of obsessed with the guy now. His name is John Acuff, I think, and he has this podcast. It's called what is it called? Let me see. I think it's something about like a goal or something. But anyway, he was talking about that. He was like, how can you compare your last season self? So whatever that is, you know, like maybe there was a time when you were like a spring chicken and you had all this energy, you had a lot more free time. How are you comparing that last season of who you were to the season you're in today, where you may be dealing with he gave the example of like somebody that's dealing with like a parent that is dealing with dementia, and that person is trying to, you know, dedicate their time to that, but then they're also trying to run a business and they're trying to, you know, take care of themselves. Like, how can you compare yourself in this season to the last season? Like, it's just not fair to yourself. So I know you didn't ask for all of that, dear Nisha, but it was just something that I felt I wanted to share, because I think that is just true. You know, I don't come on here and I don't complain all the time, because this is an inspirational channel and I want to motivate people, but that's the real, you know, like sometimes it's just hard, and there's days, sometimes even weeks, where I'm just like, what am I doing? You know, so definitely, you know, don't give up, don't quit. Just, if anything, just kind of shrink down what it is that you're trying to do and give yourself the opportunity to grow slowly. I think there's nothing wrong with that. Hey, created by EJF. I'm glad you were able to catch live as well. Let's see, my little melting pot. I'm supposed to be working on orders, y'all. Let me keep, let me do something while we're on here. My little melting pot says, that's a really good point. I'm a mom of 8. Oh my gosh. And it is tough, but I really want to keep pushing. Really want to, so I keep pushing. Yes, I watch a couple moms here on YouTube and they are killing it, like especially like the homeschool mom. Like I've watched all kind of different people, because I like to just get different perspectives of what people are dealing with in their day-to-day life, not to make me feel better, but just to see what other people have going on. And it sometimes it just changes your perspective when you can be like, okay, so like the fact that you're sitting here and you're saying you have 8 children, again, it's kind of like, okay, you know, no one's situation is better or worse than anyone's, but I know that is a lot on you. But again, the fact that you are continuing to show up and do everything you need to do as a mom, which is so much, and then you still want to pursue your own things, like you're inspiring me. You know, that is so cool, and I wish you all the best with it. I know it'll work out for you. Just, you know, try to find those little pockets of time. I know it's easier said than done, but we gonna make this thing work, y'all. We will make it work. Jocelyn, hello, said, you've been my inspiration. I am now starting a notebook business because of you. Oh, I'm so excited to hear that. So excited to hear that. If you're still on, what type of notebooks are you trying to create? Let's see. Right on time. I needed this positive word. I'm so glad. So glad. You're welcome, dear Nisha. Slow growth is good. I am learning that right now with motherhood and starting my business. Yeah. I think we don't realize like how much work it is to be a mom. Like you do it, you wake up and you do it every day, right? Like we do it because we have to. But then when you really sit down and you think about all the stuff you do on top, like motherhood, just that in itself is just a lot. But then when you add all the other expectations you have placed on yourself every day, like you are a super woman, okay? Like that is not something that is just this little saying that's cute. Like, no, moms are out here killing it. And the fact that you have time to then want to do something for yourself after, like, what? Like, So yeah, everybody on here, if you are a mom, you need to pat yourself on the back. You need to look in the mirror today and say you are killing it. Okay, keep going. You're doing the thing. And if today maybe wasn't the best day, we'll try again tomorrow. But yeah, everybody on here, I need the encouragement as well. I needed this just as much as you guys did. Let me see. I don't even know what topics did I have to talk about. I had some topics to talk about. Let me see. Thank you. Yes, we'll make it work. If I fall behind, I'll put my kids to work and they can pack it. Yes, exactly. And I think that's so cool for them because that gives them an example to see the possibilities and see what they can do. Like I always tell my husband all the time, like, I want my daughter to do whatever she wants to do. I don't want to push her to be an entrepreneur. I don't want to push her to be, like there's certain parents like, oh, you got to be a doctor or you got to do. I don't want her to push her to do anything. I just want her to see that she has options and that the possibilities are endless. And when you expose kids to that, they can really take it around with you and they surprise you. So yes, definitely get your kids involved. I think that would be so cool. But let me see, what was I supposed to be talking about? I know one of the things was shipping. So do you guys want me to talk about shipping a little bit just to give you guys some tips? I get questions all the time about shipping, so I can talk about that. I can talk about really anything. If anyone has any questions, I'm happy to answer them. I'm just punching these. I know you can't really see, but I'm punching these inserts for a couple of orders I'm working on. I did a closing sale last week. And by the way, if anyone was interested, there is a handful of stuff left on the website. There's a couple D-stash bags. There's one stationary muse bag. And there's like 2 more of these A5 inserts left. So if you're interested, the Stationary Muse shop is closing up, y'all. This is it. And then some fun new things are on the horizon. That's all I can say. Okay, let's see. Yes, I need more lives like this from you. Really appreciate it. Oh, you're welcome. Yeah, I definitely I love just getting on and just chatting. I mean, I love talk about business, that's cool, but life and what really be going on, like we all need that. So I'm really glad you were able to get on. Okay, so let's see. With Chroma said yes, talk about shipping. Okay, so let's talk about it. So if you have any specific questions, let me know. But I just want to kind of do a basic breakdown because I feel like sometimes it can be confusing if you're trying to do a product. Now, what I'm getting ready to talk about is across the board with most e-commerce platforms. This goes for Etsy, Shopify. If you use WooCommerce or anything like that, if you're on Wix, they have e-commerce, anything. This kind of applies to all of those. Of course, it'll look different and I'm not getting ready to share anything on my screen, but the process pretty much is the same because people always ask, okay, like, well, how do I ship it out to people? What is the process? What does that look like? So when you set up your account initially on whatever platform you're on, I'm personally have been on Etsy and Shopify. I used to use WooCommerce back in the day. But regardless, when you set up your platform, they're going to ask you, where is your address? Where are you shipping from? So that's kind of the first thing to consider. Where do you want your packages to be coming from? If you are like me, when I first started and I had no idea what I'm doing, then you might put your home address as your address. Okay. That was my address for like the first, I don't even know, y'all, probably the first half of my business. I had my home address on all of my labels. And I didn't really think anything of it. I was a small business, But then as I started to grow, this channel started to grow. I was like, okay, maybe my home address is not really the right thing to do. So I ended up switching it to a PO box, which then ended up switching to a UPS box. So the biggest thing I would say, if you can swing it, get the box in the beginning. I recommend getting a UPS box personally because the UPS, the way they got it set up is just so nice. You get a street address. So it doesn't say PO box. It says, it's just the street address and it has like a number, almost like if it was an apartment or something. So it's just like mine is, I don't even know the numbers, but it's like Rio Rancho Boulevard, Southeast or something. And then it's number 235 is the box. So it just looks like a regular address, which is nice. It's definitely friendly when you're plugging it into different systems because some systems don't like PO boxes. And then that way you don't have to worry about it coming back to your house or anybody having your address, which for the most part, I'm sure it would be fine. But, especially just to have that peace of mind. Now, the box for UPS, I have mine set up where I pay it once a quarter. So I want to say it's like, let me see if I can look it up really quick. It's not expensive at all. Like it's under $60 for 3 months, which to me is not bad. Um, just don't remember how much it is off the top of my head. I want to say it's like, maybe I'll put it in the description if I remember to look, because I don't want something to happen to this live stream. But it's really affordable. Regardless, go to your local UPS, the one closest to your house, and you don't have to go there all the time, but you just can use the address. You can have packages delivered. So when people send me stuff, it just goes there. I get an email telling me, hey, you have a package, and it's just really nice. So that would be my biggest recommendation for that. But once you get that address, whether it's your home or your PO box or whatever you get, the next thing is to set up all of your stuff within the platform. So the platform will basically tell you like, okay, how do you want to do this? Do you want your packages to be calculated based off of the current rates? Do you want it to be flat rate, just meaning that everybody pays the exact same price no matter where it's going or where, like none of that? It depends. So if you have something where it's always the same size, like a great example would be a planner. If you know you're shipping out a planner, maybe you don't have any other products, no one's adding anything really, or even if they're adding something, everything kind of has like a flat rate and it just gets added on. So if somebody lives in California or if somebody lives in Florida, they would all pay $12, for example. Like you would just have that flat rate shipping price no matter what. That's an option. I've always done the calculated because I have just so many different products. So the way it works with calculated is you put in the weights of everything and it will calculate it based off of the weights and the dimensions of the stuff. So I think that's what I've always liked. And it just will basically tell you. So if somebody's in Chicago, they may pay a little bit more than somebody that lives in Texas because I'm in New Mexico. So that's how I have it set up. I find that it tends to be where people will pay a little bit less that way, because when you do flat rate, you almost kind of want to make sure that you're not undercharging or losing money on shipping. So something to consider. Either way is great. And I would definitely just suggest researching both ways and kind of understanding what the differences are, how it works. And then from there, you're pretty much set up. You answer those questions, you figure out what you want to do, you set up your rates, you say, do I want to use USPS? Do I want to use UPS? Then from there, and I gotta go soon, y'all, because I got a call coming up in 10 minutes. But then from there, all you do is when you get an order, it comes to your order screen. You click on that person's order, it'll pop up and it'll say like, okay, this is what the person got. Do you want to create a shipping label? You create the label, you print it right there at home. So you don't have to go to the post office or the UPS place and do anything. You don't need to wait in line. You don't need to ask anybody any questions. You literally just print it out on a label at home. You can get one of those thermal label printers, or you can use like a regular printer and just print it on some computer paper. That's what I've always done. I just have like the two labels on a piece of paper, print it out. You can print multiple orders, or you could just do one at a time, however you want to do it that way. That's really just going to be more of a workflow thing and a preference thing. And that's pretty much the process. You print it out, you stick it on there, and then you have two options. You can either take it to the facility, so USPS or UPS, and just drop it off. You don't have to wait in line unless you want to get it scanned. Usually they'll have like a drop off area that you can just sit it over on the side. I like to drop mine. They have like this little thing you can pull down and slide the stuff in there. I like to do that. And then, yeah, that's it. And then they scan it at some point during that day. I usually will go back into my system in Shopify and I'll check it and be like, okay, they scanned the packages, and then it's on the way. From there, the tracking is set up for the customer. You don't do anything. You're done. That's it. So from there, it's up to UPS or USPS to get it to people. And that's kind of how the process works. So it's really simple. I know sometimes that process can confuse people, but it actually is really nicely set up. So let me quickly go through these couple of questions. Hey, Jocelyn said, I'm making notebooks for college students. I can only do a few per day since I'm graduating from college this year. Congratulations. Congratulations on that. Thinking about hiring some help, but I don't know if it's the right thing to do. I definitely think that if you can afford help, I totally would get it, because sometimes that can be a hindrance that will stop you from growth. That was always something for me where like I would be scared to sell a lot because I'd be like, oh my God, it's just me doing it. So if you can swing it and you can get some help, I think that that's amazing. And then just kind of decide like, okay, what does the help look like? You know, what are the things you can delegate to somebody? Create some SOPs. So just like the standard operating procedures. So, you know, almost like a manual if you were starting a job, like if someone, you have someone applying for this position to work with you, or whatever the case is, you can outline what's expected of them. And then that'll help you realize, like, okay, this is kind of what I'm needing some help with. This thing keeps getting caught, y'all. It's so annoying. You know, what can I help you with? Or what can they help you with? So that's what I would just say. Kind of write it out, sit down. What all do you do? What are the things you don't enjoy? Kind of like, you know, cross those things off the list. And then that'll help you know what to delegate to the person. But yes, girl, get some help if you can. So my biggest, oh, this is created by EJF. My biggest shipping struggle is trying to have all the boxes and mailers on hand, be able to ship everything that I offer. Yes. So I would say for that, try to limit it as much as possible. I'm always like a bubble mailer girl. So what I would do, because I ship a lot of stationery, obviously I don't want anything to get bent in the mail. So I would purchase, let me actually show you guys really quick. And then I'm gonna have to get off because my call. But I have these things right here. They are basically like some thick chipboard. I get off of Amazon in a bulk pack. Usually I think like 25 or 50 come in there together. But it's a pretty thick board. And basically this is what I put in the bubble mailer. So that way, if somebody got a shirt, I can put it in the bubble mailer, or I have some shirt bags, but regardless, you can put it in there. If somebody gets some cards or a notebook, it could go in the bubble mailer. The only thing I don't put in bubble mailers is my planner. Everything else, even stickers, they get put in the bubble mailer because I just use these. I cut them down to size, you know, like if the bubble mailer is a little bit smaller. But that way, I only really have one type of packaging. So I would say try to, if you can, limit the amount of types of packaging that you have. Some stuff can go in all the same things. It just might need like a little extra piece of that or something to just keep it sturdy. And I don't know what all you are shipping out, but that's what I would say. Just kind of research some of the different ways. You definitely don't need to have like every size box on hand and all that stuff, because that's just going to take up a lot of space and just a lot of mental space too. Because I feel like when I have like a cluttered space, it just makes me kind of stressed out. I don't know if that's just me, but it could be a little bit much. But yeah, so that's what I would suggest. I always just, in like bubble mailers, what I mean by that, just in case, is like these things. So they come in different sizes. Maybe you could have 2 different sizes of bubble mailers just for that, the sake of that. But these are really easy to store. You could just slip these in, you know, like one just anywhere, just kind of out of the way, versus having a whole bunch of boxes. Now, I do have boxes, again, if I have to ship out some planners, but those boxes, I get them in not a huge amount. So it's just enough. And I just kind of keep them out in the garage and then pull them out when I need to. So I'm not sure if that helps, but the biggest thing I would say, especially when getting started, until I would receive an order for that, I would hold off on getting the material just in the beginning, just to see. Unless you have the money up front, I would get maybe like what you know is going to be the most popular shipping package, have that on hand, and then everything else just kind of wait, you know, and then just make sure you set up your shipping times accordingly. So if you know somebody places an order and you might need like 3 to 5 days just to get things together. I mean, stuff from Amazon is literally coming the next day. So you can still meet your deadline and get things out in a timely manner. But then that way you're not just like having all this stuff sitting and trying to figure out when someone is going to order something where you can use that packaging. Because yes, all of this stuff adds up. It all adds up. Not even just the packaging, but everything. It just adds up. So wherever you can cut some costs, save yourself some time, I highly suggest that. All right. Does anyone else have one last question before I have to get off? That 30 minutes went by so fast, like so quick. If not, I'm going to dump this out. I'll see if there's one more question and then I'm going to get off. see. Thank you. And I live in a small apartment with family. Yeah, like I remember when I first started my stationery business, I was in an apartment. And girl, I know. It's like you don't want to have all that stuff. So yeah, try to limit it as much as you can. Um, and just try to repurpose the same packaging for different things. I think that's the biggest thing that I would say can help. Like you don't have to have like different types of mailers for every single thing because that can just be a lot. Now, someone else may give you different advice, but I'm all about making things easy. So that is my biggest piece of advice. But all right, it was fun chatting with you guys on here today. I am getting ready to get on my coaching call, but I will be back on again. I usually go live every other Tuesday, unless I'm just like really feeling it. I'll be like, oh, I'm gonna go live, and I might go live, but it's always on a Tuesday. So definitely try to catch me around this time if you can. Thank you all for getting on. I had a really good conversation. This was really good. I'll have to get on and do another one of these at some point so I can talk about some of the other topics. But yeah, have a good rest of your week. Thank you for joining. Oh, one more question. Okay, it's my last question. I literally have to hop off. So JM Hey said, does scanning the package before you leave go or wait, let me see. Always afraid they won't scan. Oh, okay. I've never had an issue with them not scanning, but if you have any inkling, like I've been here for a while now, I've kind of established some relationships with people. Like there was even one point where I had forgot to put a label on a package and they got it back to my house. Like they knew that it was mine because I was there so often. But I think in the beginning, you can definitely scan it, kind of see how the process works and everything. Yeah, definitely get the packages scanned if you feel comfortable doing that. There's nothing wrong with that. I think it's great because then you know right away it's done. And then after a while, maybe try like with the package and just leave it and see what happens. But I know like for mine, I feel comfortable. I didn't at first, I would get it scanned, but then eventually I was like, okay, they seem pretty good here. They know what they're doing. They're scanning the stuff. So yeah, that's the biggest thing I would say with that is get it scanned. Do what feels comfortable. If you're feeling kind of iffy, then definitely get it scanned. All right, I gotta go, you guys. Thank you so much. I will see you next time. Bye.